I heard it before I saw him. My name didn't just reach me. It was thrown. I don't want to marry her anymore. She's far too pathetic for me. The words hit first. Then the laughter followed, wet, careless, unanimous. It rolled across the table like applause, like cruelty dressed up as confidence. It slammed into my chest so hard I tasted copper. For a split second, the room tilted. Candlelight blurred. Plates gleamed. I stood behind his chair, unseen. The clink of silverware sharp as breaking glass. I didn't gasp. I didn't step back. I slid the ring off my finger, slow. Silent. The gold was still warm from my skin, like it didn't understand what was happening yet. Their laughter didn't notice. Not at first. I leaned forward and set the ring on the table between the salt and the bread. A soft sound. Final, that's when the room inhaled. And that's when I decided exactly how this would end. We weren't really supposed to be there. Not like this. This dinner had been his idea. A victory lap disguised as wine and linen. His people. Friends, colleagues, the kind who nodded at him like gravity bent their necks. He loved rooms like this. Loved being admired. Loved how approval made him taller without earning it. I'd been late because he told me to be. Make an entrance, he'd said, smiling without warmth. Don't embarrass me. I was already embarrassed. I just didn't know how deeply yet. In the weeks before. The air between us had shifted. Small dismissals. Jokes sharpened into insults when no one else was listening. He corrected my stories. Finished my sentences wrong. I learned to pause before speaking, the way you do when you sense a trap but can't see it yet. He liked control. Not loudly. Elegantly. The kind that feels like love until you're alone and shrinking. At the table. He was radiant. Relaxed. Cruel in that effortless way only confidence can afford. He leaned back, wine glass tilted, telling a story I wasn't meant to hear. About me. About how I needed him. About how marriage would slow him down, ruin his momentum. I watched their faces as they laughed. Not one of them looked uncomfortable. That hurt more than his words. He kept going. He always did when he sensed approval. She cried when I told her we should postpone the wedding, he said. I mean, tears like a child. My hands didn't shake. My pulse raced, but I kept it locked inside where it belonged. I studied the room instead. Exits. Reflections. Who was watching whom? Who would remember this moment clearly later? I didn't interrupt. I waited. The ring sat on the table, catching candlelight like a quiet accusation. Laughter stumbled. Chairs creaked. Someone whispered my name like it might undo what was already done. He turned around. His smile stayed on too long. Hey, he said, confused. You're early. I looked at him like I was seeing a stranger wearing a familiar suit. You said you didn't want to marry me anymore. A pause. A flicker. Calculations scrambling to catch up to consequences. I was joking, he said quickly. You know how it is. I nodded. I do. In the space between his words and their laughter, the plan formed. Not rage. Not tears. Geometry. Angles. Timing. I'd spent months trying to be chosen by him. In that moment, I chose myself. I pulled out the chair across from him and sat down, calm and centered. He underestimated that. They always do. Before we finish dinner, I said evenly, there's something I need to clarify. He laughed, sharp and thin. Can we not do this here? I met his eyes. You already did. Silence stretched. Glasses hovered midair. The room leaned in without realizing it. I picked up the ring and held it between my fingers. This was never just jewelry, I said. You knew that when you signed. He frowned. Still not fear. Just confusion. He'd skimmed the paperwork, trusted his charm. That was his mistake. I leaned in just enough. One detail, I said softly. The claws. The word landed like a blade. His mouth opened, then closed. I watched the memory return his impatience. His rushed signature beside my careful block letters. The prenuptial agreement he mocked. The one he said made me look insecure. I stood. Let them all see me standing. It transfers controlling interest. I continued calmly. If there's public contempt with witnesses, especially if it damages reputation, someone's fork clattered against a plate. I smiled then. Just a little. Congratulations, I told him. You activated it. The color drained from his face. He looked around the table like help might appear. It didn't. These weren't friends anymore. They were witnesses. You can't be serious, he said, his voice finally cracking. I've never been more serious. After that, everything moved quickly. Lawyers love clarity. Boards love morality clauses. The story wrote itself without my help. He resigned before they asked. Invitations stopped arriving. Apologies came too late to matter. I didn't take everything. Just enough to make the lesson. Permanent. The ring lives in a drawer now. Cold. Harmless. Finished. Sometimes. I think about that night, not with anger, but with precision. Betrayal isn't loud when it's real. It's casual. Comfortable. Laughing at the table while you stand behind the chair. Never mistake silence for weakness. Some of us are just waiting for the moment when one detail changes everything.